the hardest part for me to get over is that Carol Danvers for me has always been Ms. Marvel. If this was a Ms. Marvel film,
Yes.
I think I'd be warmer to it.
Yes.
But I never warmed up to her being Captain Marvel, okay? Mar-vell, Captain Marvel. Janice Mar-vell, even Monica Rambeau, who I would have said, hey, great. You know, because she was Captain Marvel and from
So
a
what's
totally
the
different
distinction?
line. She's really supposed to be the female Captain Marvel, as opposed to Captain Mar-vell, who was originally a Kree soldier, and he ended up abandoning the Kree, or at least the Kree military, to defend Earth. He was originally sent as a spy, but as he stayed, he switched his allegiance somewhat, if we could say that. And she appears in the second issue. She appears in the second issue of his storyline. She eventually gets powers, and then she goes on to be Ms. Marvel. Her series not very successful, but to be honest, none of the Captain Marvel series have been successful with Marvel. That's why there've been so many of them.
Right, but you know what? But let's not. Most of the female comics.
No. We're talking about Mar-vell.
Captain Marvel. We're talking about Mar-vell and
Janice, the one that Peter David, and the artist Chris Cross. They had a very long run, which kept being saved over and over in the early 2000s.
Yeah, they had. You have the original Captain Marvel run with Mar-vell. And I think that ran 62 issues, and then it was done. Then they said, okay, let's move them over to Marvel Spotlight. And some of this I'm always a little bit, on the fence as to why they were doing this. Like, why was there so much energy into, keeping this guy up? And one of the reasons is because DC had Captain Marvel, but they had to call him, they had to call the book Shazam. And if they started like, well, look, this isn't working out, then these guys they would have been champing at the bit to get that name back. So he went to Marvel Spotlight. Then the next big thing for him is they killed him off in the first Marvel graphic novel. Later on, we see another Captain Marvel. We see a second Captain Marvel. Then a third Captain Marvel is Monica Rambeau, who has an excellent storyline.
Yeah.
Excellent storyline. She gains powers. She joins the Avengers, becomes a leader of the Avengers at one point. And then they just don't know what to do with her. She's like goes through almost the same bad stuff as Ms. Marvel. All these different names, loses powers.
It's more her being Roger Stern's character. And then she became a struggle with the editorial where they wanted Captain America to succeed and her to fail as a leader. So, and then no one else picked her up, and Roger Stern was sort of out of Marvel. He was, making money at doing Superman and Death of Superman. So there was no interest in doing a Monica. Regretfully, there was no interest in doing a Monica Rambeau. But Kurt Busiek kept saying, "Oh, I got to help my mother. I got to help my mother." It's like she could be in the Avengers in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
she could be in outer space and get home to New Orleans in 2 seconds. Like a lot of people online complain that she's in New Orleans. She's not in New York. Like, what does that matter? She could be in New York
in seconds.
It's like if you look at the original story, and I think when Byrne and Stern used her in the Avengers, using the light speed can be extremely dynamic. And most of the time you see her in Secret Wars, she's flying at speeds that are way slower than she should have. Like she's with the rest of the heroes, and everything she should be doing is instantaneous from the way we see it. It'd be incredible to see that on film.
What's the difference? Is there any difference? None.
No.
So how can you like Ms. Marvel more
because
than
Ms. Marvel is who she is. Captain Marvel is a title that was just foisted on her.
Yes.
That's like if you could have foisted that title onto anybody else, anyone. Okay, Monica Rambeau, she was originally Captain Marvel without anybody else doing anything. That was her name, her title, on herself. Same thing for Carol Danvers. Now, if they decided, hey, you know what? We're going to bring in Monica Rambeau, but you're going to be Ms. Marvel, that sort of thing. No, it doesn't work because, again, this is totally opposite to how you just stated in your genesis as a character. With Carol Danvers, it was just like, look, we need a Captain Marvel. Hey, why don't we give it to her? So it's kind of like her graduating from Ms. Marvel to Captain Marvel. But there was never anything. She's never had any sort of link towards the whole thing, with the exception of that she was a short-time love interest that never saw fruition for Mar-vell at the end of the day.
Is it really that big of a deal?
Yes.
Look, I'm saying to you, and we've talked about this before, it's not about a name switch being a big deal or not. The issue is that it's a hand-me-down thing, that it's not a name that she started with, and there's been so many switches. Now, doing it for the movie and them deciding, all right, maybe Captain Marvel is a better name than Miss Marvel, whatever. I understand that might be your point. But I'm saying if you go through it, the fans are like, this makes a lot more sense.
It's Captain Marvel.
But it doesn't, because if she had the lineage she had the connection to Mar-vell, if he had passed it on to her in his passing, Yes, but no one was thinking about that because they thought of her. Well, Chris Claremont was changing her into 3 million other things, having all this more powerful than Mar-vell ever was as binary.
And you know who did
So-
pass it on to her?
Who?
Monica Rambeau.
She keep passing on. That's the thing. They have her just there to pass
It on.
Pass on.
She's the
things.
easiest going person when
Yeah.
it comes to that name. Like
Yeah.
Captain Marvel. Yeah, you can have it.
Hey, I'm gonna be photon now. It's like that. Your powers are not just using photons. It's using all forms of light.
And the whole idea
energy.
of Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau was actually a captain. Okay, she was
Yes.
actually a captain, similar to Mar-vell. It wasn't just like, hey, Captain comes out of
Yes,
nowhere.
yeah, it was
okay,
another bit.
same thing with the original Captain Marvel. If you look at his original outfit, okay, the whole outfit is designed to be what? A captain's uniform. Okay, that was where it came from. He was the Wizard's champion.